Why not buy a better motorcycle? Or just keep your Harley Davidson. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So this video is all about, well, I've been doing a bit of research out there and looking at prices and looking at alternatives and looking at what motorcycle manufacturers may be bringing out this year, coming 2025, but also what's on the market right now. And I've also been paying attention to quite a few comments out there on some of my videos, but also some other videos I've been looking as well. And actually, a lot of people are of the same opinion as I am as well, that you don't have to buy a brand new motorcycle. In fact, if you watch my videos for the longest time now, I've been talking about this and say, you just go into the used bike market, and regardless of whether you're hacked off with a motorcycle manufacturer or you can't stand the prices of these brand new machines, I said, well, just go into the used bike market. There's going to be some great deals there. And I've talked about in other videos the lead up to winter and Christmas as well. You're going to get some fantastic deals towards the end of the year. And at the end of each month, well, salesmen are going to want to try and get rid of their bikes, right? Or salespeople, I should say. They're going to try and get rid of their stock, and you might be able to get a good deal here. So whether you're in a dealership or whether you go into the private sector, you're going to be able to find a deal if you want to. But the point of this video is that even if you want to do that, you want to change your bike, are you necessarily going to get a better bike? And is it going to be a better bike for you? Or should you just stick with what you've got? There are lots of opportunities to buy another bike. Of course there are. You know, you can go anywhere to buy a bike. But are you going to get a better bike than what you've got right now? So if I just have to talk about myself, you know that I ride a Harley Davidson Sport Glide. I've owned it for, 5.5 years now, something like that. Absolutely love that bike. But I have been thinking in the last year or so about changing it. I've been thinking about, well, should I stick with another Harley Davidson? Should I upgrade? Should I go to another manufacturer? Should I go to another style of motorcycle altogether? I've been weighing this up for quite a few months now. And I haven't really made a lot of decisions. I know the kind of bike that I probably would go for if I had the money, but it's not necessarily something that I'm jumping towards, I'm leaning towards. I have said that I'm very unlikely to go to a brand new motorcycle, and it's not against Harley Davidson in particular. This is about all motorcycle manufacturers, that I just believe their top-end bikes are just way too expensive. The kind of bikes that I would probably want to be buying to replace my Harley Davidson, I just think they're way too expensive. Whilst in some cases I still believe there's some value there, a lot of cases I just think there's too much expense there. But then I'm looking at value and riding experience, and would I get much better value or a better motorcycle than what I've currently got? So there's always this toss-up between keeping you what you've got, working with the devil you know, as it were, but also trying to move over to where the grass may be greener. Now, it could be that you're just going to upgrade the motorcycle that you've got. You're going to go like for like. I've got a Sport Glide, I'm going to get a new Sport Glide. I got a Street Glide, I'm going to get a brand new Street Glide. I'm going to get a BMW, a Kawasaki, a Suzuki, whatever it is. I'm just going to upgrade the same model. Okay, so that's a bit of a no-brainer. But you could still find yourself, actually, I prefer my model year over this brand new one that I'm considering buying. So this is always a big problem. Is it better to keep your own bike, your own Harley Davidson in my case, or should I go for, in some cases, a much better motorcycle? And I talk about better in terms of value, in terms of performance, in terms of its reputation, in terms of the way it just rides and feels. Because there are better bikes out there. I've talked about this in the past. So there are better bikes out there than the bike I've currently got. It doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be a better motorcycle for me, because it's all about being subjective. I can sit here and tell you that this Harley Davidson or that Indian or that Kawasaki is the best bike for you and you should ride it. And this is what I've always said about my motorcycle reviews. People ask me all the time, are you going to do more motorcycle reviews? And I say, well, first and foremost, I want to clarify. This is what I say to them. I say, I try not to say that they're motorcycle reviews, because it's very difficult to give a motorcycle review when you're just riding the bike for an hour. I would say this is my first impression of this bike. Whilst I might call it a review, whatever, it is really just an impression. So if you want to give a proper review, you've got to ride that bike for 6 months, 8 months, a year, live with it to see what it's really like in all sorts of conditions. But I appreciate where people are saying, look, we enjoy you riding your bikes, the different bikes. We'd like to see more of it. I'd love to do more of it as well. I love riding all sorts of different bikes. But when I'm reviewing bikes, in inverting commas, I do acknowledge quite quickly whether this bike is going to be suitable for the kind of riding that I want to do. But I also acknowledge that this bike that I'm currently riding, is actually better than the bike I've got. It is a better bike. It's better in terms of mechanics, better in terms of riding, better in terms of tech, better in terms of handling, braking, whatever it is. Much more comfortable. It's an overall much better bike. But I kind of look at my bike and think, well, it might be better, but it may not be better for me. There's always this argument. There's always this yin and yang, good versus evil, as it were. Should I keep my bike? Should I change it? Even though there's a better motorcycle out there, is it going to be better for me? Now, in some cases, that might be yes. Of course it is. You see a better bike, think, yeah, it is better for me. I'm going to go and buy that, whether it's a used one or whether it's a brand new one. Yeah, that's better than mine. I want it. Now, it could be that you're having problems with your bike for whatever reason. It's having mechanical or electrical issues or whatever it is. You've fallen out with a dealership. You've fallen out with a mechanic. You're unhappy with the purchase that you've made. You think, you know what, get rid of that. And I hear this so often as well. You know, when we're talking about Harley Davidsons or any manufacturer as well, I'm fed up of them. I want to go to something new. And you go to some other bike and you think, wow, this is amazing. But then you start having problems with that bike as well. I was speaking to another guy recently as well, and we're talking about years and years of buying motorcycles. And years gone by, you moved away from buying used bikes, you went to buying brand new bikes because you got a certain age and you got of a certain financial situation. So you started buying new bikes. But over the years, you just keep on spending more and more on bikes. You keep on swapping the bikes and you have nothing to show for it. All the money that's gone on accessories, on bikes, and you keep on chopping and change it. And the guy was saying, you know, I'm not going to be buying new bikes anymore. I'm just going to be buying used bikes. And I hear this a lot from people as well. I'm not going to buy new bikes anymore. I'm just going to buy used bikes because there's so many great used bikes out there. Why would I want to pay top pound, dollar, shekel for a brand new bike when I got a perfectly great bike here that's used few thousand miles on the clock that perfectly suit my needs? There's lots of people out there that have acknowledged what I've been saying. There's lots of people out there kind of thinking along the same lines as well. I'm not influencing the way people are thinking. I think just people are generally feeling this way. They're looking at values of bikes. They're looking at the outlay of brand new motorcycles, and they're looking at the used bike market, but also looking at their history of buying bikes and how they've been feeling with them, what kind of riding experience that they've had, and the social experience as well for a lot of people as well. So I would always look at my bike, my Harley Davidson, and I would say, well, actually, I know there are better bikes out there. I could easily go and buy a better bike in terms of the way it rides, the way it handles, the braking, the suspension. I could go on and on and on, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be a better bike for me. I know there are better bikes out there that would be a better bike for me than my Harley Davidson. And there's a couple out there that I would think, yes, but they lack certain something. And that certain something my bike has that bike doesn't have. And sometimes it's the intangible. Sometimes it's the feeling that is all that matters. It's not what your bike is or what the bike could be that you're going to buy. It's that intangible. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell for future videos. And I will catch you again in another video coming very soon. Bye now.